हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Are you able to hear me? Okay. Okay. So we'll get started. So I think my Wi-Fi is not very good because I'm driving. So maybe everybody can switch off their videos. I'll also switch off my video to save the bandwidth. So I'll switch off my video and we'll get started. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti-vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are continuing our study of Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, entitled Explanation of Devotional Service by Lord Kapiladev. Texts 1 and 2. Devahutiruvacha लक्षणं महद् आदीनां प्रकृते पुरुषस्य च स्वरूपं लक्ष्यते मीशां येन तत् पारमार्थिकं यथा सांख्येषु कथितं यन्मूलं तत् प्रचक्षते भक्ति योगस्य मे मार्गं ब्रूहि विस्तरश प्रभो. Translations and purports by our beloved revered founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation of texts 1 and 2 of the 29th chapter of the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shri Devahuti inquired, My dear Lord Kapiladev, you have already very scientifically described the symptoms of the total material nature and the characteristics of the spirit according to the Sankhya system of philosophy. Now I shall request you to explain the path of devotional service, which is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems. So here, Srimati Devahuti Devi clearly explains that devotional service, bhakti, is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, in this 29th chapter, the glories of devotional service are elaborately explained, and the influence of time on the conditioned soul is also described. So what are we going to study? In this 29th chapter of the third canto, we are going to study about the glories of bhakti, glories of devotional service. Bhakti yogasya me margam bruhi vistarasha prabho. O Prabhu Kapildev, kindly explain in detail the path of devotional service, bhakti, and also what is the influence of kal, time, on the jiva. I want to know that also. What is the effect of time on the jiva, spirit? The purpose of elaborately describing the influence of time is to detach the conditioned soul from his material activities, which are considered to be simply a waste of time. Material activities are waste of time. And when we understand the influence of time on the conditioned soul, the Baddha Jeev, we become detached. Once my spiritual master, His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, was asked, why in Bhagavatam there are chapters describing just Vamshavali, describing just the dynasties, this dynasty, that dynasty, it's just names. What is the purpose? It is Amala Puran, it is a spotless Puran. Why just these dynasties are described? Secondly, Maharaj Parikshit had a very limited time to perfect his life. So in those, instead of those chapters, something nice, some Krishna Katha, some Krishna Leela could have been described. So why does Sri Shukdev Goswami dedicate so many verses, so many chapters to just describing the dynasties? My spiritual master replied, gave many reasons, several reasons. One of the prominent reason was that when we hear about these dynasties, so many kings have come and gone, so many kingdoms have been created and destroyed, so many people have lived and died on this earth. We develop a sense of detachment. Otherwise, the tendency is to think no end of oneself. Otherwise, the tendency is to think that I will live forever. Otherwise, the tendency is to think that I am the center of this universe. But when we hear Vamshavali, when we hear the history of this world, how many great kings have come, they did so many significant things, but now all that is gone. There is no trace of what they have done left with the passage of time. So that gives vairagya. And renunciation is important on the path of bhakti. Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, Srila Prabhupada writes in the next paragraph, is the basic principle of all systems of philosophy. Philosophy does not lead to its desired result if bhakti is not practiced. Bhakti must be practiced. Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the basic principle of all systems of philosophy. Why? What are all the Vedas meant for? Vedasya sarvair aham eva vedyo. By all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. Lord Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of Vedic knowledge, whichever philosophical school we belong to, the purpose of all philosophical schools is to understand Krishna. But bhaktya mama vijanati yavana shasmi tattvata. But one can know Krishna only through bhakti. The purpose of all systems of Vedas is to understand Krishna. Krishna can only be understood through bhakti. Therefore, all systems of knowledge, all philosophies must have bhakti in it. All philosophy which does not aim for devotional service, bhakti, to the Lord, is considered merely mental speculation. What is the use if it is not leading us to the point of bhakti? Now, Srila Prabhupada explains further down in the next paragraph. Sankhya philosophy is the analytical study of all existence. Whatever is there in existence, to systematically, scientifically, analytically study it is Sankhya philosophy. Because in Sanskrit, the word Sankhya technically means enumeration, to count. 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 To count So it is a analytical study of all existence. One has to understand everything by examining its nature and characteristics. What is the nature? What are the characteristics of things? This we have to properly understand. It is the acquirement of knowledge. It is the nature of the jiva to be inquisitive, isn't it? All of us are inquisitive. As children, also, we ask questions to our parents, our superiors. Why like this? Why the seasons change? What are those twinkling objects in the sky? Why the moon keeps changing its size and shape? All these questions naturally come in the minds of people. And why do these questions come? Because by nature we are inquisitive. It is a nature to be inquisitive. And why are we inquisitive? Any guess? Why are we inquisitive? Because it is the nature of the soul to be Sat Chit Ananda. Chit means fully cognizant, to have all knowledge. That is why it is our nature to be inquisitive. Because the soul is supposed to be all cognizant, Chit, all knowledge. And when we lack knowledge, we become inquisitive. Why this happens? What just happened? Like that. All those questions come. So, being inquisitive is our nature. Therefore, to acquire nature, to acquire knowledge, it logically follows. If we are inquisitive, naturally we are going to inquire and then gain knowledge. But Prabhupada says, but one should not simply acquire knowledge without reaching the goal of life. That is bhakti. To attain bhakti for Krishna is the goal of life. Prabhupada further says, if we give up bhakti yoga and simply busy ourselves in analytical study of the nature of things as they are, then the result will be practically nil. What is the use if we cannot understand Krishna? It will all be Shrama evahi kevalam. Notpade yadi ratim, Shrama evahi kevalam. We saw in the first canto. If our activities, as we practice dharma, if our activities do not lead to taste, ruchi, rati, we don't develop taste and attachment to hearing about Krishna, who is called Vishwakshen, then it is Shrama evahi kevalam. It is simply useless labor. Text 3. Virago yena purusho bhagavan sarvato bhavet achakshva jiva lokasya vividha mama samspritihi. Shri Devahuti Devi continued, my dear Lord Shri Kapiladev, please also describe in detail, both for me and for people in general, the continual process of birth and death. I want to understand the process of birth and death. Samsrishti. Samsrishti means this material world, how things are created, how things are destroyed, birth and death. For by hearing of such calamities, we may become detached. We may become detached from the activity of this material world. Detachment comes, viraga. Viraga. Hey Bhagwan, please tell me about the different types of birth and death, how this world is created. Samsrishti. Samsrithi. How things are created, how things are destroyed. Birth, death. Achakshva. Please describe. I want to know properly. So that me and Jiva Lokasya, people in general, they will develop virag. By this, yena virag bhavit, will become detached by this knowledge of the calamities that take place in this material. It is important to hear about the dark side of this material world. Otherwise, the tendency is to become complacent in this material world. We become too comfortable in this material world. Therefore, my dear friends, when people are too materially happy and successful, it is difficult for them to accept Krishna consciousness. It is difficult for them to become philosophical. There is a term called as Smashan Vairagya. detachment that happens in a crematorium, the place of death. Why? Because when we see birth and death, especially when we see death, end of life, it jolts us. It makes us realize the value of human life, our frailties, our weaknesses, and our fallible nature, the temporary nature of our material existence. And that leads to detachment from material activities, detachment from material world. Krishna has designed this world like that. Why do we become old? Why does our body become weak as we age? There is a reason why our teeth become weak, why our bones become brittle with osteoporosis, why our face becomes wrinkled, why do we need anti-aging cream, why all these things have, why do we need joint replacement surgery, plastic surgery, botox injections, facelift, why do we need all this? Because Krishna has designed it like that. As we age, we develop diseases, body becomes weak, and we are supposed to develop detachment. That forget it. With this body, even if I want, I cannot enjoy now. Even if I want, I cannot eat as much I used to eat. Because if I eat as much I used to eat, I will get acidity. When I was 20 years old, I could eat anything. No acidity. But now acidity. So then we develop vairagya. We develop detachment. That is how Krishna has designed. Krishna has designed old age so that we become detached from this world naturally and become more Krishna conscious. Therefore, Vanaprasth. We don't take Vanaprasth at the beginning of life, or we don't take sannyas at the beginning of life because there are desires. So initially there is inquisitiveness, the training is required for life. So brahmacharya, training, student life. Then some desires are there, people will enter grahasthashram, they will get married. And within the jurisdiction of dharma, they will enjoy sense gratification, which they so much desire. But after doing it for some time, one thinks, okay, this is all there is to sense gratification. The biggest sense gratification this material world has to offer is this. I just experienced it in grahasthashram. Okay, is that all? This is not what will truly satisfy me. There must be something more to life than this. Enter Vanaprastha. Go deeper in a relationship with Krishna. Remember the things you had learned in Brahmacharya. Now take them seriously. Now you have tasted everything that material world has to offer. Now wake up. So this is called detachment, which is designed by Krishna to naturally come to us as we age. And then there is sannyas. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, so Mother Devotee is asking that I want to hear about birth and death for my benefit and for the people in general. Because by hearing about birth and death, we will become detached from this material world. And we discussed detachment is very important for attachment to Krishna. We cannot do both. We cannot be attached to sense gratification in this material world and be truly attached to Krishna. So we can do only one thing. Either we can become Krishna conscious or we can become Maya conscious. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, in this verse, the word samsriti is very important. Shreha sriti means the prosperous path of advancement toward the supreme personality of Godhead. Samsriti means the continued journey on the path of birth and death towards the darkest region of material existence. So there are two things. There is Shreya Sriti means advancement towards Krishna. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam. Shreya means our supreme good. Um, Shreya means our supreme good. And Shreya Sriti means to progress on the path towards Krishna, the supreme good for us. And Samsriti means to go towards samsara, birth and death, material existence. People who have no knowledge of this material world, God and their actual intimate relationship with Him, are actually going to the darkest region of material existence in the name of progress in the material advancement of civilization. So we can make as much material advancement as we want, keep discovering new things, keep inventing new things. But if there is no connection with Krishna, it is all waste of time. Because ultimately, our only true relationship is with Krishna, actual intimate relationship with Krishna, Prabhupada says. And Prabhupada also says to enter the darkest region of material existence means to enter into species of life other than human species. Why? Because only in human species are we able to inquire into transcendence. And that is the beginning of Vedanta Sutra, Brahma Sutra. That now that you have got the human form of life, atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now you inquire about spiritual subjects. Now you inquire about the Supreme Lord. Until now, you did not have the intelligence to inquire. You were simply ahar, nidra, bhay, maithun, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That was all. But in human form of life, we have to go beyond just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Text 4. कालस्येश्वर रूपस्य परेषां च परस्य ते स्वरूपं बत कुर्वन्ति यद्धेतु कुशलं जना. Shri Devavati Mata is asking Bhagwan Kapil Dev, her son, please also describe eternal time. I want to know about Kal, eternal time. And what is Kal? Kalasya Ishwara Rupasya. Kal, time, eternal time is representation of Krishna, Ishwar, you, O Bhagwan Kapil Dev. And by whose influence? By the influence of time, people in general engage in the performance of pious activities. Kushalam yadheto jana kurvanti. People engage in pious activities. Purport. Srila Prabhupada says, however ignorant one may be regarding the path of good fortune and the path down to the darkest region of the ignorance, that is Samriti. And Shreya Riti is, Shreya Samsriti is to go towards Krishna. And Samsriti is to go towards the darkest regions of material world. So no matter whether we are progressing upwards towards our good fortune or we are progressing downwards towards misfortune, everyone is aware of the influence of eternal time. Is there anyone here who does not understand the effect of time, who has not experienced the effect of time? All of us. We are all growing, we are all transforming. The 6 transformations are there in the material body. We can see it in our body and in the bodies of our family and friends. We take birth, we grow, we produce byproduct, we uh, dwindle, become old and weak, and we finally die. These are the transformations. These transformations affect everyone, no matter who we are, whether we are devotees or we are not devotees. Now, everybody is aware of the effect of time, Prabhupada says. What are the effects? Prabhupada explains. Body is born, time is acting. Advancement of age, again we see man is 30, 50 years old, and finally the duration of life is over and we meet with cruel hands of death, Prabhupada says. Everyone is conscious. Everyone, even a child has seen grandparents die, or great grandparents die, or a friend's parents, grandparents die, neighbor die. Everybody has experience of death because this is Mrityu Lok. Ahani ahani bhutani gachantiha yamalayam. Generally, people are attached to sense grandeur, sense enjoyment, and so aspire for life on heavenly planets. When someone dies, what do we see in the newspaper in the obituary column? Swargvas ho gaya. Swargvas. We feel very good about it. स्वर्गवास हो गया. We feel that going to heaven is the shreya, it is the highest enjoyment. But what does Bhagavad Gita teach us? That no, shine punye marte lokam shanti. When our pious activity account will be depleted, then we will lose our place in the heavenly planets and we will have to fall down. We'll have no choice. Srila Prabhupada points out very important thing. Look at the last sentence. आ ब्रह्मा भुवनाल्लोका पुनरावर्तिनो अर्जुना मामुपेतिदु kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Prabhupada reminds us in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that right from Brahmalok down to the lowest planet, everywhere there is punarjanma. Everywhere there is birth and death. Birth, old age, disease, death, everywhere. From the highest planet down to the lowest planet in the material world. And then look at Prabhupada's last sentence of the purport. In the spiritual world, however, the time factor has no influence. There is no birth, old age, disease, death in the spiritual. Text 5. So where do we want to go? We want to go to the spiritual world. Where is Krishna inviting us? Krishna is inviting us to spiritual world. Krishna is saying, "Na tad bhasyate suryo, na shashanko, na pavaka, yad gatva na nivartante, tad dhama paramam mama." Come to my param dham. Just have to think of me, become my devotee, you will come to me. I promise you this, because you are my very dear friend. Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. Mameva shashi saptyante prati jane priyosi. Text 5. Lokasya mithya bhimate achakshushas chiram prasuptasya tamas anashraye shrantasya karmas anuvidhaya dhiya tvam avi rashi kila yoga bhaskara. My dear Lord, Shri Devoti Mata is praying to her own son, who is Bhagwan, Shri Kapil Dev. My dear Lord, you are just like Bhaskar. You are just like sun. You are just like the sun, for you illuminate the darkness of the conditional life of the living entities. Those of us who are second initiated in the Brahma Gayatri Mantra, we meditate upon the beautiful effulgence of the sun. Savitu means sun, and Bharga means the effulgence of Savitur, of the sun. We meditate on the effulgence of the sun, which dissipates darkness of this world, Bhur, lower planets, Bhuva, and the higher planets, Swar. All the three planetary systems, the darkness is dissipated by the beautiful, bright effulgence of sun. And this sun, Surya Narayan, is a representation of Krishna, is a manifestation of Krishna. In Brahma Samhita also it is said that the sun and the moon are the two eyes of Krishna. And Krishna Surya Sama. Krishna is like the sun. Krishna Surya Sama Maya hai andhakar, jahan Krishna tahan nahi Maya ra adhikar. So the sun dissipates darkness of the world, and Krishna and his incarnations like Bhagwan Kapil Dev are also like that. They illuminate the darkness of the sun. Because their eyes of knowledge are not open, they are sleeping eternally in that darkness. Because eyes are not open, they are in avidya, ignorance. They are sleeping eternally in the darkness. Krishna bhulya se jiv, anadi bahirmukh. We are just forgetfulness of Krishna, and therefore they are falsely engaged by the actions and reactions of their material activities, and they appear to be very fatigued. We are struggling in this world. Mana shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. We are just struggling hard in this world. And we don't have to struggle because we belong to Krishna. But yet we forget Krishna and then we suffer in this material world. Krishna bhuliya se jiv anadi bahirmukh. Ataiva maya tare deha samsar dukh. We are suffering because we have forgotten Krishna. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says it appears that Srimati Devahuti Devi, the glorious mother of Lord Kapiladev, is very compassionate. Jivasya lokasya. Very compassionate for the regrettable condition of people in general, who, not knowing the goal of life, are sleeping in the darkness of illusion. Many times I have seen in medical practice a drunkard may be lying semi conscious, completely under the influence of alcohol, in a sewage pit, in a sewage canal, by the side of the road, in a dirty place. And when you first go, the first responders or the EMS, or even when they are brought to the emergency department, when we doctors, they are completely intoxicated. We try to talk to them that we are going to admit you, we are going to clean you up, we are going to give you dry clothes, fresh clothes to change it to. They say, no, why I was brought here? I was fine, I was fine. Even you try to lift them up from the dirty place where they are lying. Oh, I'm fine. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm fine. I'm fine. They say that. Why? Because they are completely intoxicated. So similarly, when you go to people in this world and say, please take shelter of God, take shelter of Krishna, pray to God, chant Hare Krishna. They say, hey, just leave me alone. You give them books. I remember going on book distribution. I was in Bombay and there was this college near Churchgate called Jai Hind. I went there to distribute books. I was also a medical student that time. And I had my backpack with Srila Prabhupada's books, some books in my hand, and I went to a group of college students. I handed them some books and I said, these are very beautiful books. They will teach what is the real goal of life and how to achieve that goal of life, how to be happy in this world. So they told me, we are already very happy. We don't need these books. And we don't need anyone to teach us what is the goal of life. I said, these books are really source of great inspiration. And they said, we are already inspired. We don't need any inspiration. Go away. They laughed at me. So why? Why are they rejecting Bhagavad Gita? Why are they rejecting the words of the acharyas? Because they are intoxicated by material nature, material desires. And they don't realize what a dangerous situation they are in. But a sadhu realizes. मनसि जफनि जुष्टे लब्धपातोऽस्मि दुष्टे तिमिरगहन रूपे हन्त संसार कूपे अजित निखिल रक्षा हेतुमुद्धार दक्षा उपनय मम हस्ते भक्तिरज्जुम नमस्ते. A sadhu can see hanta samsara kupe. They have fallen into a dangerous well, material existence. Manasi jafani jushte, where there are dangerous serpents inside the well. There is nowhere to escape. But Krishna, who is called Ajit, unconquerable. Ajita Nikhila Raksham Hetu Uddhara Daksha. Krishna is expert and always alert to rescue his devotees, save his devotee, give protection to the devotee. Bhakti Rajjum. Please, Sri Rupa Goswami is praying in Stavamala. Please throw me the rope of bhakti and pull me out. Which means we have to grab the rope of bhakti. Effort is required from our side, but kripa is also required. Without kripa, we cannot do anything. And kripa is the rope that Krishna throws down. All we have to do is just hold on to bhakti rajjum. Rajjum means rope. The rope of bhakti, and Krishna will pull us up. We don't have the strength to pull ourselves up. Krishna is throwing the rope, Krishna will pull us up. That is kripa. But our bhajan, upasana is to hold on to that bhakti rope and not let go. It's a very beautiful path, bhakti. So devotee is requesting her glorious son to illuminate the lives of conditioned souls who are living in the darkness of avidya, ignorance. So she's saying, please tell about Bhakti Yoga. Describe Bhakti Yoga, she's requesting. Bhakti Yoga is like the sunshine. In the last sentence, Srila Prabhupada says, the only path for mitigating fatigue, the struggle for existence, is the path of devotional service or the path of Krishna consciousness. When we are fatigued, we cannot help ourselves. So, very nice question Mother Devoti is asking. Let us see what the answer is. Text 6. Maitreya uvacha iti maturvacha lakshanam pratinandya mahamuni avabhashe purushreshtha pritastam karunarditaha. Shri Maitreya Muni said to Mahatma Vidur, O Kurushrestha, O best among the Kurus, Vidurji, Mahatma Vidur, the great sage Shri Kapila Dev, moved by great compassion, Karuna Ardita, moved by compassion, and Preetaha, being pleased by the words of his glorious mother, spoke as follows. This is the thing, the Guru should be pleased with the disciple. The disciple has to be sincere. Enquiry has to be pertinent. When the disciple is sincere and the enquiry is pertinent, then Gurudev is pleased by the sincerity of the disciple. And then Putam Hari Kathamritam, it manifests. Punyam Krishna Kathamritam, Tava Kathamritam, Tapta Jivanam, that manifests. So Bhagwan Kapil Dev speaks now in response to the questions put forth by his mother, Shri Devoti Devi. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Lord Kapila Dev was very satisfied by the request of his glorious mother because Jivasya Lokasya. She was thinking not only of personal salvation, but in terms of all the fallen conditioned souls. This is very important. Krishna is very pleased when Jibe Doya, Nameruchi, Vaishnava Sevan, Eitin Chhadi Dharma Nahi, Suno Sanatan. When we engage in Jibe Doya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharma Sar, Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Maja. Jive Doya, very important for a devotee. Prema Maitri, Kripopeksha. Yah karoti samadhyam. Who is Madhyam Adhikari? One who has prem for Krishna, Maitri with the devotees, Upeksha for the envious, and Kripa for the bhaktas. Wow, Kripa for the innocent, ignorant people. Balisheshu Kripa. So Kapil Dev was very pleased with the compassionate attitude that mother is thinking of everyone else also. Text 7. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhakti Yogo Bahu Vidho Margair Bhamini Bhavyate Swabhava Guna Margena Pumsam Bhavo Vibhityate. Lord Kapila Dev, the personality of Godhead, replied to his mother, O Bhamini, O noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service. Bhakti Yoga Bahuvidha Marga. In Bhakti Yoga also, there are many paths in terms of different qualities of the executor. Guna Margana Pumsam, based on Swabhav. Based on the Swabhav of the practitioner, Bhakti Yoga also has Bahuvidha Marga. There are many paths in Bhakti in terms of different qualities of the practitioner of Bhakti. Don't we see this? In our International Society for Krishna Consciousness, with such a big society also, there are devotees with different levels of spiritual advancement. There are devotees with different moods. There are devotees whose sadhana is quite different from each other. We see that. And that is natural. Bhagwan Kapil Dev says very clearly. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Bhakti Yogo Bahuvidho Margair Bhamini Bhavyate Swabhava Guna Margena Pumsam Bhavo Vibhidyate. Vibhidyate. There are different divisions, even in the path of bhakti. There are different paths based on the swabhav, the nature of the practitioner. Multifarious paths in devotional service in terms of different qualities of the executioner or the practitioner. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is one. Because in pure devotional service, there is no demand from the devotee to be fulfilled by the Lord. Pure devotional service means anukulyana krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. Anyabhilashita shunya. That is pure devotional service. It is for Krishna's. Krishna pratyartham. For the pleasure of Krishna. Samsiddhir haritoshana. But generally people do devotional service with a purpose. Arthi, artharthi, jigyasu, jnani cha bharatarshava. Chaturvida bhajante. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. People can come with different motives. Some want relief from suffering. Some want money. Some are just inquisitive. They want to satisfy their curious itch. Some are looking for the absolute truth. Different types of people come. So, actually the path of devotional service is one without a second, but according to the devotee's condition, devotional service appears in multifarious varieties. And Bhagwan Kapil Dev will explain that. So it depends on the swabhav, on the purpose with which the devotee is coming to the path of bhakti. For example, Shaunak Adi Rishis, they are inquiring from Sri Suta Goswami. They come jigyasu. They were inquisitive. Then there are the Chatusana, the four Kumaras, who are topmost Brahmanas. They came to Vaikuntha. They approached Lord Vishnu. Why? Because they were looking for the absolute truth. Jnani. Then there is Dhruv Maharaj. He wanted artha. He wanted money, wealth, property. More than his father. So he came. And then there are Arti. Those who want freedom from distress, they're suffering. For example, Gajendra. They are all devotees. Gajendra is devotee, Dhruv Maharaj is devotee, Chatusara, the four Kumar brothers, Sanak Sanatan, they are devotees. And Shaunakadi Rishis, who are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Sri Suta Goswami, they are also devotees. But their purpose may be different. And because the purpose is different, they will appear to have different paths to the same destination, lotus feet of Radha Krishna. Bhakti. Bhakti Marg will have different divisions. Text 8. Abhisandhaya yo himsam dambham matsaryameva va samrambhi bhinna trik bhavam mai kuryat satamasaha. Devotional service executed by a person who is himsam, he is violent, dambham, he is proud, matsaryam, he is envious. When someone has envy, pride, is violent, and also samrambhi, is infected with anger, and who is a separatist. Bhinnadrik. This is very important. Bhinnadrik. Separatist is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Kuryat saha tamasaha. Bhavam mai. They are doing devotional service to me. They are chanting 16 rounds. But they are in the mode of bhakti, in the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna. Bhagavan Kapil Dev said, these are types of bhakti marg. Types of bhakti marg are being described here. So it is possible that sometimes someone may have himsam, violent nature, dambham, people may be proud, Matsarya. Some devotees may be envious. They have envy. Samrambhi. They can become very angry. And Bhinnadri. They have a different vision, separate vision. They are separatists, Prabhupada says. Bhavam mai kuryat. But they are serving Krishna through bhakti in their own way. Saha tamasaha. But such a person is practicing bhakti in the mode of ignorance. Just see. This Bhagwan Kapil Dev is saying this. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, Bhinnadri, is considered to be in the mode of darkness, tamasa. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that the highest, most glorious form of religion, parodharmo, is attainment of causeless, unmotivated devotional service. Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahaitukya pratihata eyatmasu prasidati. Devotional service that is unmotivated, uninterrupted, that is the best. But now we see that there are practitioners with different motives also. And some of them have anarthas also because of desire for personal sense gratification. Prabhupada says, look at the end of this paragraph. But if one has a motive for personal sense gratification, his devotional service is manifested differently. Such a person may be violent, proud, envious, and angry, and his interests are separate from the Lord's interests. Bhinna drik. Drik means vision. Bhinna means separate. They are separatists. They have a separate vision from the vision of Krishna. And what do we do with such people? Very important. Please pay attention. In the second paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says, one who approaches the Supreme Lord to render devotional service, but who is proud of his personality, envious of others, and vengeful, and is in a mode of anger. He thinks that he is the best devotee. और तुम्हारे भक्तजनों में हमसे बढ़कर कौन? Devotional service executed in this way is not pure devotional service. It is not anyabhilashita shuddha. It is not anukulena Krishna. No. It is anukul for me, not for Krishna. Because of selfish interest. Prabhupada says this is not pure devotional service. It is mixed devotional service. And it is of the lowest grade, tamasa. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur advises that a Vaishnava who is not of good character should be avoided. Can everybody please note down this? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur advises that a Vaishnava who is not of good character should be avoided. Yes, they are Vaishnava, but we should avoid them. We should keep a respectful distance. A Vaishnava is one who has taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the ultimate goal of life. But if one is not pure and still has material motives, then he is not a Vaishnava of the first order of good character. He is not a pure Vaishnava. He is not an advanced Vaishnava. One may offer his respect to such a Vaishnava because he has accepted Krishna as the ultimate goal of life. But one should not keep company with a Vaishnava who is in the mode of ignorance. We should keep company of Vaishnavas who are advanced, who are sincere, who have good character. We should not keep company of Vaishnava who is in the mode of ignorance. This is very important, my dear friends. Very important. Why important? Because many times devotees get bewildered. Arey, this is a devotee. Then why I have to keep distance? Yes, because that devotee has pride. That devotee has envy. That devotee has anger issues. That devotee has a separate vision than the vision of Lord Krishna. Bhinnadrik. He is a separatist. He wants to collect followers or she wants to collect followers. They have their own vision. They have their own plan, not in accordance with Krishna's plan. So we have to keep away from such devotees, even though they are devotees, even though they are initiated, even though they are chanting 16 rounds. We respect them from a distance. We do not associate with them. We associate with devotees who are practicing pure devotional service, or at least trying to practice pure devotional service. We associate with devotees who are sincere. That is what this Bhagavatam is teaching us. Very deep. Who is separatist? Separatists are people in our society, in our spiritual society, but they have a vision different from the vision of Prabhupada. a vision different from the vision of Krishna. They want to collect their own followers. They want to have their own sangha. They have their own vision how things should be done, not according to the vision of Guru and Gauranga. So such people should be avoided. We can respect them, but we should keep a distance. We should not associate with them. Otherwise, we'll get divided. Okay? So these are some very important lessons we learn from these verses. And now the subsequent verses are very important. Unfortunately, in the July 4th traffic, long weekend traffic, we got stuck and we just now pulled into the garage, just now reached. So I had to start the class from the car only. But next time, Krishna willing, I will be in a better position. So this is very important section of Bhagavatam, where different types of devotional service are being described. So I hope all of you found it good. I hope my sound was audible. And therefore, I requested all of you to close your video because I don't have Wi-Fi. So let me connect to all of you. Yes, okay. Yes, Shama Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, in this shloka, we saw about devotional service in the mode of Tamogun. So, his goal is pure now. He worships the Supreme Lord. Will Krishna not purify him, Prabhuji?
Definitely. Krishna will purify, Bhakti will purify. But until that time comes, we have to keep distance. Daksha Prajapati is a classic example of Bhakti in the mode of ignorance. But he's Vaishnava Apradhi. We are not going to associate. That's why Lord Vishnu also left and Shankar Bhagwan also left the yajna.
So, why these three types are there, Prabhuji? Tamogun, Sattvagun, and all? Because
why there are different grades in school? Why there is elementary school? Why there is middle school? Why there is high school? It's a progressive path.
So, only after mixing with the devotee, we will know his swabhavana. So, till that time, how we will mix with that devotee?
If we are sincere, Krishna gives intelligence. We can see certain characteristics, the way they speak, the way they interact, and very quickly it is possible to understand what are the motives of certain devotees. If they are motivated by a personal greed, personal ambition, personal agenda, most cases it is visible. And then we offer them respect. They are Vaishnavas, they have accepted Krishna as supreme, they have accepted Prabhupada, they are chanting Hare Krishna. We respect them, but I'm not going to associate. I'm not going to associate.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Prabhuji, one more doubt. That day you told during chanting this Brahma Gayatri, we should meditate on the effulgence of Radharani, Srimati Radharani.
Yes.
So, what we should do, because today we saw that the sun is the eyes of Krishna. So, we should meditate on what we should do, Prabhuji.
The traditional Vedic understanding, because Brahma Gayatri mantra is from the Vedas. So, traditional understanding is Surya Narayan. Gaudiya Vaishnava understanding, and we have shared that explanation of Brahma Gayatri mantra. Mukta Sangha Prabhu had put it on the website. Ajay Govind Prabhu, Mukta Sangha Prabhu. It's on the website, the Bhakti Vaibhava website, our website. You go, there is there by the explanation according to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, given by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada god brother. He explains how it is the effulgence of Srimati Radharani that we meditate on. Because ultimately, Surya Dev is also getting effulgence from Radharani. Hai na? All the effulgence is coming from Golok Vrindavan. All the effulgence, even Brahma Jyoti is the effulgence from the body of Krishna, like that. So he explains how that Varenyam, the most worshipable is Srimati Radharani for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And because Brahma Gayatri has the word Varenyam, most worshipable, it refers to Srimati Radharani. So you can read the whole explanation. It's there.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Last question, Shamchandra Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Nandat Pranam. Thank you again for a wonderful session, despite technological limitation or traveling and all that. Wonderful. Covered a lot of lessons were understood today. I was wondering about this. We talk about this Binnadrik nature of Vaishnavas and people who have with anger, pride, envy, who have different agenda, etc. But see, in the beginning, most of us are like that, because we are so conditioned, and then unless we get that compassionate, loving care of advanced devotees, there is no hope for us also. So, how do we reconcile this? Because on one hand, when we try to spread this message for the benefit of all, we come across all types of devotees, and the majority of them are like that only, you know. So at the same time, we cannot avoid them. So how do we understand this?
It depends on our capacity. If we can help them, we can guide them, then we can associate. But if we are ourselves going to get affected by that pollution, and we are ourselves going to say, my God, what is going on in this spiritual society? I came here to get Krishna, and look what these devotees are doing. They are in the movement for 15 years, 20 years, still they are behaving like this. I don't want to be part of this society. If somebody is going to lose faith because of the misbehavior of such devotees, better they keep a distance. And it is up to Guru and the senior Vaishnavas to rectify such devotees. I'll give you an example. One person was collecting funds for a temple that was not authorized by his guru, and he was telling everybody that Guru, such and such Guru has authorized me to do this. And then the complaint went to the Guru chastised, said, stop doing this. He continued doing it. Continued doing it. So this is called Bhinnadrik, separatist. He has his own agenda. He doesn't care what Guru and Krishna say. He has got his own thing and he will do his own thing. They are called separatists. So such people are very dangerous. They have their separate vision, Bhinnadrik. So better not to associate, and let Guru and the senior Vaishnavas who are authorized to counsel them, their counselor, Siksha Guru, let them handle. But ordinary
Okay.
common devotees should keep good association.
So this looks like more like an experienced Vaishnava who deviate their path. Uh, Rather than this, sometimes the newcomers may show some characteristics, but they may not be really Binnadrik. They are innocent.
They're innocent, so they need kripa. They need association. As long as they are receptive.
Yeah.
But when someone is not receptive and acting out of anger, envy, pride, arrogance, and has a separate vision, then they are dangerous. But
Right.
innocent devotees who have their own anarthas and conditionings, they should be uplifted. They should be given association. So this refers to, like you rightly said, to more experienced devotees who have knowledge, but they misuse it.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Take care of your health. You seem to be having some cough issues. Take care and relax for some time.
Thank you, Shamchandra Prabhu. Thank you.
Right.
Ajay Govind Prabhu, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Babuji, Dhanwad Pranam. Thank you so much for a nice explanation. I just wanted to add the point which Shyam Chandra Babuji was asking, and you were answering that. So, our Guru Maharaj also said, and Prabhupada also said, that association means not just sitting or talking with them. Association means when you carry forward what they do. So associating or interacting, I will use the word not association but interacting to someone who may get some benefit out of another devotee is okay till the time we don't take what they are doing, but we give what we are somebody is doing. So that one way flow is good. So we should always be like a siphon and take from the higher to the lower level, but not from the lower to the higher level.
Very nice point. Very nice point. Yes. We can interact, but we should not get influenced by them. That is association, to get influenced. We should not get influenced. We should keep respectful distance. That is best. And we should not go on a campaign criticizing them also, because they are Vaishnavas. Let Guru Maharaj, let their Guru, their authorities deal with them. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Just
Correct.
to my mind, so I just wanted to add.
Thank you for adding this. Very nice. शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, निताई गौर।
हरे बोल। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Hare
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.